Today's thought is success does not just find you. You have to go out and get it. I repeat it again. Success does not just find you. You have to go out and find it. Good morning, all of you. Welcome back. I hope all of you are safe and fit at home and doing your work very well. This video is for the students of class 8th. Subject English. And today in this video, we shall cover one chapter of supplementary reader. This is our chapter number 3 and the name of the chapter is The Selfish Giant. It is written by none other than the famous writer Oscar Wilde. This is my lecture number 1 of the same chapter, and this chapter is taken from It So Happened book. This chapter is divided into 2 parts. So today in this video we shall read about the author, introduction and detailed summary along with word meanings of part 1 of chapter 3, The Selfish Giant. Part 2 will be discussed in the next lecture of the same chapter. Before start reading the chapter and detailed summary, let me give you brief introduction about the author Oscar Wilde. The full name of Oscar Wilde is Oscar Fingal O'Flaherty Wills Wilde. He was born on 16th October 1854 at Dublin in Ireland. He died on 30th November 1900 at the age of 46 at Paris in France. He completed his education from Trinity College at Dublin in France. He was famous author, poet and playwright. He had a very good command on English, French and Greek. He is well known for his famous novels, that is, The Picture of Dorian Gray and Importance of Being Earnest. So, this was about the author. Now, let us see what are the objectives of the story. Number 1. To enable the students to think of an alternative ending to the story. Number 2. To enable them to use new words and phrases in their own language. Number 3. To enable the students to share their personal experiences. Number 4. To enable them to express themselves in grammatically correct language. Number 5. To enable the learners to extrapolate from the given text. Number 6. To enable the students to learn the fourfold skills of English language, that is, listening, speaking, reading and writing. So these were the objectives of the chapter. So students, let's have a look on the key points of the chapter. A giant had a large beautiful garden. He was selfish. While he was away to visit a friend, children used to play in the garden. When the giant returned, he was angry to see the children playing there. He built a high wall around the garden so that the children could not come in. As a result, the trees refused to bear flowers and fruits. Spring refused to visit in his garden. Only the frost, the hail, the north wind and snow danced there the whole year. There means in the garden of the giant. So, these were the key points of the story. Before start reading, the detailed summary, first of all, let's see the introduction of the chapter. The Selfish Giant is a beautiful fictitious story by Oscar Wilde. Fictitious means not real. This story revolves around a play garden which becomes lavish in the presence of children and dries in the absence of children. This story teaches us to treat kids in the right way. Coexistence and spreading love is the message of the story. The young boy was messenger of God. He made the cruel giant repentant. Repentant means feeling sorry for doing something. He was not allowing his creations to blossom. When he broke the wall, happiness and beauty surrounded him in terms of children and spring season. So, this was the introduction of the chapter. Now, let's read the summary of part 1 to understand the story in detail. Lovely garden. There was a lovely garden in a city. Kids used to play there after school time. Means every afternoon as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in the giant's garden. There were numerous grass flowers which stood like stars and 12 peach trees in it. In it means in the garden. They used to cheer the kids and birds used to sing mesmerizing songs. Mesmerizing means very attractive. In the spring, plant brought flowers, while in the autumn they were giving sweet fruits. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen them. How happy we are here, they cried to each other. Means the kids were happy like never before. But this happiness did not survive long. The arrival of the selfish giant. The garden belonged to a selfish giant. The selfish giant was at his friend Cornish Orgul's home for 7 years, but now he had returned. Here the meaning of Orgur means a cruel giant who eats people. He saw the children playing in his garden. He said to the children, "What are you doing here?" in a very gruff voice. Gruff means rough voice. The children ran away as they saw him. He said that it was his own garden. He would not allow anybody or anyone to play there. He built a wall around it. He also put a notice board. It had a warning on it. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Trespassers means those who enter somebody's land without his or her permission. Prosecuted means punished. So, the giant was very angry after seeing those children playing in the garden. The sad children. The children had no other place to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and they did not like it. They used to wander. Wander means roaming here and there, round the high walls. They used to talk about the beautiful garden inside. They said to each other, "How happy we were there." Means the children were very happy while playing in the garden. But due to the selfish giant, they were not allowed to enter in his garden. Persistent winter in the garden. Now the trees, grasses and birds were sad as there was no one to hang around their twigs. Twigs means a very small thin branch that grows out from the main branch of a tree or bush. And listen to the birds' song. Trees stopped blooming and fruiting while the bird stopped singing. Now the spring came in the whole country, but they did not enter in the garden. Garden means in the giant's garden. Guide. The story is written as per European countries like the United Kingdom. There the winter is of long duration and there is only spring season in place of summer. There was golden fruits in the autumn, but it didn't come to his garden. His garden means giant's garden. As a result, there was still winter. Means due to his selfishness, he had not allowed any child to enter in his garden. Due to that, there was still winter whole year in his garden. Once a flower raised his head, he saw the notice board by the giant and retracted means slipped back into the ground. Restless Giant. Now the giant was restless. He did not understand the cause of such a long winter. The snow had covered the grasses with white sheet and frost had painted all the trees with silver color. Here the meaning of frost is the process of freezing or a covering of minute ice crystals on a cold surface. Frost and snow invited north wind. Here snow, frost, north wind and hail, all these have been presented as characters or person. North wind is the chilly wind. Winds from the north roared throughout the garden. North winds brought hail. Hail means hailstorm to the garden. The hail broke all the chimney pots and roof slates. Then he ran round and round. He means the selfish giant. The garden as fast as he could go. He was dressed in grey due to frost and his breath was like ice due to winter. But the spring never came, nor the summer. The winter gave golden fruit to every garden, but to the giant's garden she gave none. So it was always winter there, and the north wind, the hail, the frost, and the snow danced about through the trees. One morning, the giant was laying awake in bed when he heard some lovely music. It was very sweet. He thought that it must be king's musicians, but it was a linnet, means a brownish songbird found in Europe. She was singing outside his window. The giant found its song very sweet. Then the hail stopped dancing. The north wind stopped and a delicious perfume, means smell, came to him through the open casement, means window that opens on hinges like a door. The giant felt that the spring had come, and he saw the most wonderful sight because the trees were covered with flowers. Here, spring is a symbol of happiness. The cold and gloomy winter symbolizes suffering. There were no flowers in the giant's garden means that the happiness was nowhere to be seen. In The Selfish Giant, written by Oscar Wilde, main theme are humility, compassion, kindness, loneliness, love and pain. So this was the summary of part 1 of chapter 3, The Selfish Giant. Students, you have to complete your homework on the basis of the chapter explained by me. And your homework is read chapter 3, The Selfish Giant, and write word meanings highlighted in the video. Based on the understanding of the chapter, write the answers of the questions mentioned in the book It So Happened As. Page number 20, comprehension check, question number 1 to 5. You have to do these questions in your fair notebook. Children, since you are not having your It So Happened book with you, so here in this video, I have mentioned your homework in detail. Question number 1 is, why is the giant called selfish? Question number 2, on one occasion, the children said, how happy we are here. Later they said, how happy we were there. What are they referring to in both the cases? Question number 3, part 1 is, when spring came, it was still winter in the garden. What does winter stand for or indicate here? Question number 3, part 2 is, winter has been presented like a story with its own characters and their activities. Describe the story in your own words. Question number 4 is, was the giant happy or sad over the state of the garden? Question number 5 is, what effect did the linet's song have over hail and the north wind? Now in this video, we shall discuss the homework solution of the homework which was assigned you in lecture number 1 of grammar of chapter 30, that is creative writing and stories. That is a part of writing skill. We have already discussed the meaning, types and elements of story writing in lecture number 1 of chapter 30. As I assigned you homework which was to be done by you on the basis of the topic explained by me, and your homework was revise chapter 30 creative writing and stories from the book or video, and based on the understanding of the topic do exercises mentioned in the book PCW's grammar as. Exercise number 1 and 3, which is on page number 173. Now let's see the exercises. Exercise number 1. Write a horror story beginning with the sentences below. It was a dark winter night. A man was walking hurriedly down the street. His head was covered and no one could see his face. Exercise number 2. But in your book, this exercise number is 3. Imagine that you got a chance to meet with a friend who forgot to return the money he or she borrowed from you. Write a humorous story on this incident. The solution of these exercises are, these stories are based on the understanding and thinking of the students. So that is why you have to write down the stories by your own. I am not going to write the stories. Through this, it will enhance your thinking, writing and reading skill. So this is the end of the lecture. At last, I would like to say that complete your homework in neat and clean handwriting in your fair notebook. Students, if you like our videos, then hit on a like button and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.